Landy, sitting down with Mr. Malik Ali, author of the new book, Psychology of a Thug, Demystify. How you doing, sir?
All right.
All right, nice to sit down with you. Tell me more about yourself and the book.
Yeah, well, the book originated from the ideal about it from Southwood State Prison. Um, Once I decided to seek mental health so I could find out why I kept going back and forth to prison, um, when I got to Southwood State Prison, had a therapist. And when I told her about my passion to help young men, so they want to go through the same things I went through, the stigmatizations that I went through about mental health care, about, you know, helping yourself. She said that was a good idea, but help yourself first. So, I thought about it and I went back to my room. I was like, well, how can I help myself and help others too? And, it hit me. Write a book. Now, when I found out about it, when I wrote the book, she was like, yeah, that's bibliotherapy. That's the scientific name for it. It's called bibliotherapy. It's the writing and reading of books to help yourself.
This is when you were incarcerated.
Yes.
Okay.
So I wrote the book in Southwoods,
Mm-hmm.
crashtinated a little bit, but I finally, I did the ebook was published on May 20th. The paperback was published on May 25th. So I finally got the book done. The book is about me and the traumas that I went through as a young man. Because one of the things that I found out that I had forgot was about the molestation by my mother when I was a young man. And, it was a big part of my traumas and the things I was going through because I couldn't hold down a relationship with women. So,
Right.
yeah, so.
So that came up through the therapy or the sessions you had with.
I started remembering things. I remembered a whole lot of things, man. I remember one day, because my mother had mental health issues.
Okay.
And when she was on her meds, she was all right. When she wasn't, she used to be walking the streets for weeks at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one day walking down the street with my friends, and we was talking about her, and I acted like I didn't even know who she was because,
It was one of
I
those.
didn't want nobody. Yeah.
No.
So I think back to all those, those little traumatic situations. Coming home one day, finding her bloody from head to toe, thinking that she was dead because she was unresponsive at first.
Mm-hmm.
And then after we got her to respond, she didn't want to go to the hospital or the police station to press charges. Coming home, finding one of my family members that tried to commit suicide by taking a whole bottle of pills, being shot, almost killed myself.
This was when you were a teenager? When did that occur?
A young man around between 25 and 30.
Okay.
So I was doing a lot of things because of these traumas that led me to do a lot of things. I had a misreputation of what a man was. So it led me to the streets.
What was
I
your
almost got killed myself.
What was your understanding of being a man at that time when you were misguided?
Man, don't cry.
Right.
All those little simple little things.
Right.
If you're a man,
you grow up learning, right?
Yeah, you go out and get what you're supposed to. Instead of thinking about earning what you're supposed to get, or going to school, getting a trade so you can get what you can get. My thing was we take what we want so we can get what we can get. What is it? The weak, the strong eat the weak.
Right.
That lion tale of the animal kingdom. But we're not animals. The strong survive. It's a bunch of nonsense. You know what I'm saying?
When did that light come on for you to say like that? This is not the way. Like,
I guess it always been in me. Like I could really say honestly that I always knew I could do better.
right.
I always knew that I didn't have to live the way I was living to survive. I just had to find a new way of life, find something or somebody or something, would help me, that lead me that way. And it was when I started the mental health, and then when I continued, when I came home, because I came home November the 2nd, and then got right into something November the 6th. And that should have taught me, but it didn't. it wasn't until like May 19th that I really woke up that, this is not for me. And I sat down and I started writing the book. But it was always in me. I always knew I could do better. I always knew I could do something. I always knew I didn't have to sell drugs or rob people to make a living. I always knew that.
Right.
And it's, now that I'm given this opportunity, I'm traveling a road less traveled.
Right.
Because I got a lot of people that's like even at my program, got bachelor's degrees and master's degrees, like asking me how to publish a book.
Right.
Because a lot of people want to write a book or think about writing a book and never do it. I did it. I'm one of the few people that other people know that actually did what they said they wanted to do. It's a blessing for me because now, I'm already ready for my second book, but I'm ready to start on my second book. But I got to be patient and just work with my first book because, it's really, like they say, I'm not selling the book, I'm selling myself. Actually, I think the book is just a platform so I can speak to people because that's like my passion is to talk to these young brothers and try to change their lives around. Like my life has changed around from me seeking mental health, from me applying what I know now instead of what I knew then. Open-mindedness is being open-minded to suggestions and be willing to apply them in your life. So by me applying what I'm learning now in my life, it's all good. I mean, it's not all cookies and cream. Life is never going to be like that. But it works for me. Yeah.
I was gonna ask you too with the. I know it's a sensitive topic with the molestation. Do you mind talking more about that? Or?
No, I was like I said, I didn't even remember it until the doctor said that I had mild post-traumatic stress syndrome. But after I remembered it, it was like I realized that a lot of the things and a lot of the ways that I acted was because of that. Because I even get blackouts. And when I mentioned it in group one time, another group member said that blackouts, her counselor or her therapist said that blackouts come from deep depressive thoughts that we bury. And that was one of them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I buried that thought till I didn't even remember it no more.
Right.
So it's
and for it to come from your mother,
yeah, so
the
it was
person
a
you
real
trust and
traumatic,
love,
so it's something that I guess you'd be scared to talk about, but it was like one of those things that I have to talk about in order for me to get better. You know what I'm saying? I had to put it out there because that was one of the things that held me back in life. Like in the 8th grade, I had the 3rd highest reading score in Trenton.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I could have. Ain't no telling what I'd have been or what I would have done.
Yeah.
But because of all these traumatic situations, and when I was going to junior high school, the only thing I was thinking about when I woke up was how I was going to feed me and my brothers. You know what I'm saying? So I never got a chance. I didn't have a chance. I started out, defeated. Wasn't no school. I remember the counselor pulled me in and told me just come to school for a month and they'd get me in a prep school. I looked at her like she was crazy because I had to get up and get money. I wasn't even thinking about school. School was a playground to me growing up.
You had to do what you had to do because your mother didn't really provide, or
yeah, she was in and out of psych hospitals, and whenever we stayed with her, and she would come back home. That's when she would go off from meds and we'd go on for days. So I would have to step up.
Right, take care. Because you were the oldest. You
yes.
said, yeah. Right. To make sure everyone got fed. And
yeah, I come back home. I give everybody some money. My brother under me 20, the other 2 brothers 10, so they could eat.
And how old were you when you started to have to take on that kind of responsibility?
It was actually 9.
9 years old.
Yeah, but when I got to like 11 or 12, that's when I took all my brothers and I started showing them how to take care of themselves. I would take them to stores, put on sneakers and walk out. Old Timer cans up there on Holden Avenue. Take them to other stores, show them how to get clothes. It was like that was all I knew. I knew we had to get some money, so I would take them with me, show them how to get some money, show them how to steal cars, you know, stole cars, did burglaries. You know, we ate the best way we can. But, you know, that's all we had.
Mhm. So I guess with being a thug, the psychology of a thug, I guess in a sense is like understanding more about what influenced you to do those things.
Yeah, because in the definition of a thug, and I put that in, not in a book, I put that on my webpage for the book. Definition of a thug is its original word is a Sanskrit word from India.
Mm.
And it was a group or a gang that used to do ritualistic killings. That's not us. Now, the Urban Dictionary definition, they talk about Tupac when he said that a thug is somebody who never had nothing.
Mm.
You know, not as he's, you know, he's nothing. He's just trying to come up. That's us. You know, we don't got nothing. We ain't never had nothing, and we trying to come up. You know, so
And a lot of times when you hear the word thug, you're thinking like, oh, it's like a vilified thing, like that person's a bad person. There's
you
a
know,
stigma to being a thug, but
yeah,
you never know what influenced that person to become,
a
to
thug.
right.
And that's why I'm putting it out there, letting you know, because I don't think people should fear thugs.
Mm.
I don't think you should have a phobia or you should stigmatize us and put us in a certain group. I think you should learn to understand thugs if you want to help us. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us got mental health. A lot of us is the same way.
Mm.
They can't even eat. There's still brothers out there. I remember running home from school and there wasn't nothing but water in the refrigerator. A jar of water. So there's a lot of us, the kids running around here that can't even eat. You know, so eventually they're going to try to find something to eat.
Right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? So if you can understand us, understand our mentality, understand what we went through or what we're going through, then you won't fear us. Because you know, you fear the unknown.
Right, right.
So it's like my job now for me was to come out or was make it known what made me a thug. So hopefully other brothers will want to come out and get help too.
Right.
But on the other hand, the people that fear thugs, white people, all people, even black people,
Right.
you know, will try to understand us and try to, the ones that really want to help us, they can understand us more, they can give us the right services and help
Treatment.
that is needed. Yeah,
Right, right,
treatment.
right.
So you got to understand them. Don't fear them. How you going to fear something? You never can help somebody if you fear them. See, I don't fear them because I am them. You know, I treat them like my kids. You know, in jail, I was around a lot of them guys, man, that's facing a lot of time.
Right.
And you'd be surprised. A lot of them sorry for what they did, wish they wouldn't have did it.
Right.
You know, was just in a situation they didn't know how to get out of. There wasn't no fathers involved. You know, wasn't nothing but a mother. You know, so
I was gonna say, I know we talked about this earlier, but you said your father was absent too, right? It was just your
yeah.
mother growing up with your
Wasn't
mother,
nobody
your
there.
siblings.
Yeah, so I was taught by the streets. If it wasn't for me putting myself in the army, I wouldn't have had no discipline.
In the army, you said?
Yeah, I went to the army when I was 18.
Okay.
That was all the discipline I got.
Right.
You know, besides running to Brother Hal. You know, so I wouldn't have. I've been.
And Brother Hal is.
That's my He was my mentor back in the day. I ran into him like when I was 22,
Mm-hmm.
right after my mother passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a blessing. But I went to the service in '83. That helped me a little bit. Boy, if I wouldn't, it was like someone told me to sit down one time. One of the older guys, and he told me, man, if I keep going and doing the things I'm doing, he said you're gonna wind up dead in jail for the rest of your life. And he said something else, but it was like he made me think that I was headed on the path of destruction.
Right.
So I was headed on the path of destruction.
Right.
So I wouldn't signed up for the army. But yeah, I mean, if I wouldn't at that time, there's no telling what would happen.
Mm.
Because I ain't had no no father around to guide me.
And I think from what you're saying too, a big part of, you know, stopping the stigma is in understanding where, you know, the thug lifestyle is like self-understanding. Like you have to understand yourself and
Yeah,
why you do what you do.
exactly.
Go through that kind of like self-inventory.
Yeah,
That's a big part of psychology too.
yeah.
Like, did the psychiatrist help you with that, or was that something you just naturally are a reflective person where you looked at
Yeah,
your
I
life?
actually love. That's my favorite subject. I done read Three Magic Words. I'm okay. You're okay.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of psychoanalysis.
Right.
Jung.
Right.
You know, I read a lot of psychology, which yeah, and you know some of the stuff. Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. You do
Right.
apply, or you know.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I'm really applying them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like to read a lot of stuff is okay, but to apply it
Mm-hmm.
is even better. So it's
Right.
like, yeah, I guess I was preparing myself back then and didn't even know it because now that I'm in there, it's like when they talk about a lot of things, I'm like, oh, okay. And some things I learned is new, like a dual disorder.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't even know I had a dual disorder. That's a mental disease and disease of addiction. That's two.
Okay.
So I didn't even know that. So until I got there, but it's like you know, I learned a lot about the brain, like you said, psychology. Yeah.
Self-understanding.
So yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like it's just the beginning because it's a journey. You know, it's recovery. You know, I'm starting to like recover because I'm dealing with my mental health. You know, it's like starting to really help myself. I'm proactive in my like. Even the counselors say that I am proactive. I think that's what you were saying. Yeah,
Right.
I'm real proactive with my mental health. You know, because I really, you know, I'm not trying to go back. You know, that like that last time was like, hold up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I come home, get a car. I got CDL license. Come home, get a car, get a place, get a job. In a couple years, I'm in prison.
Mm-hmm.
It was too much.
Right.
You know, so I had to probably be, they say doing the same things and expecting different results.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, so
What advice would you give to young men that may be on that path of destruction that you talked about earlier? What would be the first step toward getting help or, you know, getting back on the right path? What advice would you give?
I would say what I did was I sought mental health, and I would definitely do that. I would definitely seek mental health. They got a few programs around, Catholic Charities, Oaks,
Mm-hmm.
seek mental health.
That's the first step.
First step. You know, find out do you have a mental health problem.
Right.
You know, and if not, it might be a behavior problem. And seek out some of these programs. Like I'm in with Fathers and Men United.
Mm-hmm.
I mentor youth in chess. The only reason I don't do it this summer is because it's conflicting with my schedule. So I'm gonna do it when school started. It's better because August 10th I start teaching how to publish it yourself on Amazon.com at the Soup Kitchen
Mm-hmm.
with Jamie Parker. So that's a commitment that I took because it helps me with my book. Teaching, you know, you can't keep it unless you give it away. So by me teaching them how to publish their book like I did, you know, I get something out of it. So I committed to that instead of to the chess. But I'll start that back up when school starts. The school that I got is, well, it was Junior 3.
Mm-hmm.
Trenton High West, I think. They didn't change the names, but
Right.
yeah. But yeah, if it's not a mental health problem, it's probably a behavior problem.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably all they need is to get around some men, you know, so they can see how they live by, you know, so and they could teach them.
As a good role model or mentor type of thing.
Questions that they have,
Right.
We can answer them, especially if they come from the streets like I did.
Right.
You know, we can guide them.
Right.
You know, so come to one of our programs like that. And Fathers and Men United, I think they come up out of the church on Wayne Avenue, Samaritan.
Okay.
You know, right there. So come down there, ask about it. Probably could look it up online.
Right. They're a community organization. I've
Yeah.
heard them. Okay. And then I was going to ask too. I know a big part of I know you talked about mental health and seeking treatment. That's a big thing that there's a stigma behind, like getting, I think we talked about this earlier too, like, you know, how do you, get past that barrier? Like, well, I don't want to get help because maybe people think I'm crazy or,
Um, well, when I remember in my groups at
mhm,
the mental health and addiction program that I go to, I was like, I didn't want to share because a lot of them was coming in there with that drunk stuff.
mhm,
And my sponsor told me, you're not there for them anyway. Share openly and honestly anyway. It might give other people enough courage to share honestly and openly too. So last week, there was a brother in there, and he was saying because of the way we were sharing openly and honestly, it actually made him feel more comfortable.
mhm,
I thought about what he said, like share openly and honestly too. So um, dealing with mental health, that's why I'm sharing openly and honestly about my book. I'm hoping that it'll give brothers courage enough to come out and be open and honest about themselves. They might not come openly, but come.
right,
Seek it. It could be, just help yourself. Like the lady told me in Southwoods, that's a good idea, but help yourself first. At least seek mental health. You ain't got to write a book about what's going on with
right.
yourself, but go help yourself. That's what I would say. Go look into it.
There's no shame in getting
Nah,
help. There's
nah.
no stigma. There shouldn't be.
That's why I wrote the book to show them that it's like really, hey man, tell it all. If I could remember some more, I'd be telling that too. I probably will though.
Right, right. So you said more books to come, huh?
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Okay,
I already know what I'm going to write.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
And it was just to wrap up, like just some things about like how long it took to write the book and publishing. Like, how was that process?
The publishing was kind of easy.
Hmm.
Writing the book in Southwoods, my bunkie, I know I was driving him crazy. First 2 days, it was like I really got the book because I read books on how to write books. And they told you to just write it. So the first 2 days, I was just writing it.
Right.
Within 2 weeks, I had the book,
Hmm.
the main body of it, and I was just jumping in and out the bed 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning writing the book. That's when I did most of my writing when everybody was asleep. And I actually did like 3 or 4 chapters when I got home.
Hmm.
So what happened was because I went to this mental health addiction program and started learning about mental health,
Hmm.
I started reliving the traumas and the feelings. Like the one of them I didn't put in the book was of my mother dying. When she died, I could remember, like it's like I could feel it, laying there one day, that I ain't care if I lived or died. Now when I wrote the book the first time, I didn't feel anything.
Hmm.
That's because I didn't know anything about mental health and addiction. So when I wrote it the second time, I was getting like misplaced emotions. I'm walking down the street, it's like, hold up, why am I feeling like this? But I documented it on my phone
Hmm.
that I'm having misplaced emotions, like the emotions don't match my mood. But that was because I wrote it the second time. And because I actually know more about mental health now. So I'm looking to see what's happening with now. I'm being aware.
Hmm.
Like I told you, I'm more proactive with my mental health care now. So
Right.
yeah,
And then the publishing, was it self-published or did you work into a publisher?
self-published.
Okay. Okay. Was
Yep.
was that a challenge or was that pretty?
At first, because Microsoft Word
Hmm.
actually has a book publishing template.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I was using it.
Hmm.
But in their template, it's for you to send it out to publishers. And I was publishing it myself.
Hmm.
So they wanted you to do each chapter in one folder. So when I went to try to upload it to Amazon, the file was too small.
Uh.
So I done got the book written now. I can't upload it. So I stopped. I said, all right, let me go get something to eat.
Right.
Got something to eat, and when I was eating, I was like, ooh, copy and paste. Real simple. The whole book. Put it in one file, upload it. Then I got it edited. Because you can like look at it, you don't have to publish it right away.
Right.
You do the book cover, everything right there on Amazon.com. think I get 60% off the paperback, 35% off the ebook.
Okay.
So,
And you worked with the editor or
at
no?
first I was editing it,
Uh-huh.
and I was getting ready to re-edit it, but I'm listening to my mentor
Mhm.
and other people around me. And I remember when I was getting ready to do it on my phone, because I wrote the book on my phone. I didn't have a computer then.
Okay.
I did all that on my phone. And I was getting ready to do it on my phone, and something said, let the help help. One of my counselors already came to me all cheery. If you need some help, I'll do it. So you should have seen her face when I told her I wanted to let her do it.
Uh-huh.
I knew what they meant then. I sent her the thing. She was all happy when she gave it back. She did it in 2 formats.
Uh-huh.
Let the help help. You know, you got people that want to help you, let them help you. So it's a blessing. Yep.
All right. Well, it was a pleasure getting to know you.
Yep.
Thank
brother.
you for the time.
Thank you.